Imagine for a moment, you did everything right. You were kind, honest, and fair, but you still found yourself being ignored or even exploited. Has this ever happened to you? The hard truth is that in the real world, being good alone is not enough. No matter how much you want to believe it, success does not come with good intentions alone. Machiavelli already knew this, and that is why you need to understand that kindness without intelligence is just an open door to being exploited. How many times have you felt like people treat you unfairly? How many times have you tried to do what's right, but instead of being thanked, you were forgotten, or even worse, taken advantage of? You've learned that being kind is all it takes, that telling the truth and having a good heart will bring rewards. But real life doesn't always work that way. The world often gives more to those who know how to make smart moves. And this is where Machiavelli enters the picture. He realized something many people choose not to see. Human nature can be selfish, changeable, and even harsh when needed. In his book, The Prince, he explained that being good without being clever can turn into a weakness, and that kindness without a plan can become a danger. Now think, how many times have you been caught in that danger? Think about the people you look up to, the ones who've reached big goals. Do you really think they got there just by having good intentions? They made it because they knew how to act quietly when needed, because they saw that morals aren't a wall, they're a tool. Knowing when to use them and when to keep them hidden is what separates those who lead from those who are led. The problem isn't that you're kind. The problem is that you haven't learned how to defend yourself. You think everyone follows the same rules you do, but that's not true. The world is filled with people who pretend to be your friends, but only want to use you. People who can see innocence from far away and take advantage of it. And without noticing, you've become an easy target. This is where Machiavelli gives you another option. Smart kindness. It doesn't mean turning into someone bad. It doesn't mean going against what you believe. It means seeing that being kind should come with a clear view of how the world really works. It's about learning to understand people, to sense what they're planning, to know when to open up and when to stay careful. Have you ever noticed how the way you present yourself can change everything? Think about the last time you walked into a work meeting. If you were hunched over and not making eye contact, how did people treat you? Now imagine the same situation, but you walk in with your head held high and speak confidently. Not only are you more respected, but you start to be taken more seriously, even if you have the same content or work as before. Sometimes it's the image you project that really determines what others think of you. Machiavelli said that it is better to be respected than to be liked. If you cannot be both, choose respect. And you, what choice have you made? Most likely, you've chosen to be liked, to be welcomed, to be seen as someone who wouldn't hurt a fly. But think, what has that brought you? Not respect, not strength. What it's brought is the message that people can take advantage of you without paying a price. Being kind without having control over your life doesn't earn you respect. Instead, people will think you're easy to manipulate. The next time you're in a group of friends or at work, notice how people who always try to please others end up being ignored or manipulated by others. On the other hand, people who have strong opinions, even if they're not the most popular, end up being respected. Being nice all the time doesn't earn you real respect, but being able to stand up for yourself and defend your ideas, even if not everyone agrees, will make people respect you more. You can be the most generous person in the world, but if you can't say no or stand up for yourself, people will use you. The key is to be firm without losing your kindness. This will change the way you're treated. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should stop being good. I'm saying you should learn to be good without being fooled. Understand that the world doesn't reward fairness. It rewards cleverness. That real virtue isn't about giving in, but about knowing how to balance doing what's right with doing what works. Machiavelli knew that what others see in you is more important than you realize. It's not just about who you really are, but about the impression you make. If you appear weak others will treat you as such. But if you exude strength and confidence, people will respect you. That's not manipulation. It's knowing how to position yourself in the world. How many times have you let others treat you badly because you were afraid of not being liked? How many times have you stayed quiet to keep the peace, only to find out that staying silent cost you more than speaking up ever would? It's not about being mean. It's about being wise. The secret is knowing the right time to act, to speak, to step back, and to stand up. Kindness can be a great strength when used with care, but if you let it run wild, it can work against you. The mistake many kind people make is believing the world honors a pure heart. It doesn't. The world values strength, safety, and the courage to make hard choices. Kindness is only taken seriously when it walks side by side with confidence. If you don't have strength, your kindness doesn't matter. Machiavelli would warn you not to be a lamb in a land full of wolves, not to let your values chain you down. Being truly good doesn't mean being weak. It means being wise. It's not about following what others do. It's about knowing how to act so that things around you work in your favor. True strength lies in making smart decisions, not just being passive. Think about it. How much longer will you let life push you around? How much longer will you suffer because you didn't see things clearly? I'm not saying you should stop being kind. I'm saying you should start being kind in a way that also protects you. Learn to step quietly when needed. Know when to be gentle and when to stand your ground. Because the world isn't fair, but you can learn how to live in it without losing who you are. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to turn you into someone bad. He wrote it to show you how to stay strong. Now tell me, will you keep holding on to the idea that kindness alone is enough? Or will you begin to use real wisdom? Here comes a truth that most people never grasp: the power of appearance. It's not enough to be strong. You need to look strong. It's not enough to be smart. You need to show it. Because in this world, what's real matters less than what people think is real. Think about it. How many times have you watched someone unprepared move ahead, while someone skilled and honest stayed behind? How many times has someone who plays tricks gotten ahead, while someone who works hard is overlooked? This doesn't happen by chance. People don't follow those who are kind and fair. They follow those who show confidence and know how to assert themselves. Those who seem to have control of the situation, not those who just try to please. The one who, even without knowing everything, acts like they do. And this is where many fall short. They believe that truth alone is enough, that real talent will speak for itself. But the world doesn't work that way. The world doesn't reward the one who's right. It rewards the one who knows how to tell their story well. Machiavelli saw this clearly. It's not only about who you are, but about what others think you are. What people see makes all the difference. A leader who doubts themselves won't earn trust, even if they're the smartest in the room. A worker who stays invisible won't get a promotion, even if they're the most skilled. A person who doesn't show their worth won't be noticed, even if they have so much to give. That's why the secret isn't just in being, it's in shaping the story others see. It's learning to guide your image and send the right message in every moment. It's not about tricking anyone. It's about guiding people's attention to what you want them to notice. Think about this. In every conversation, people don't see things exactly as they are. They see things through their own thoughts, feelings, and past experiences. And here's the real question. Are you letting those filters work against you, or are you turning them into your strength? If you're kind but look weak, people will treat you like you are. If you're fair but come across as soft, others will step over you. If you're talented but look unsure, no one will take you seriously. It really is that simple. The skill of shaping how others see you is what separates those who take charge of their lives from those who let others take charge of them. Now, we step into a darker yet important part of the game, knowing how to manage information. Have you ever noticed how the most powerful people always seem to know something others don't? How those who lead always seem to stay one step ahead? The reason is simple. They understand when to speak and when to stay quiet. Knowing when to speak and when to remain silent is an important skill. Many people think that being completely honest all the time is the best thing to do. But the truth is that holding back certain information gives you power. You know that moment when you're talking to someone and you feel like you've said too much. Maybe you've given away information that you didn't need to share, or maybe you've been overly honest when it wasn't necessary. This can make you lose control of the situation. Being strategic about when to speak up and when to keep things to yourself can make you seem more confident and mysterious. At work, for example, sometimes it's better to let others wonder a little bit rather than blurting out everything you know at the first opportunity. The truth is, information is power, and if you give it away freely, you give away your strength. Machiavelli said, "A ruler must learn to keep their true plans hidden, not because they should lie, but because in a world where everyone is looking for an edge, the person who tells too much becomes easy to hurt." Learn to choose what you reveal. Say only what's needed, and not a word more. Keep a bit of mystery. Let others guess what's really on your mind, because the moment you become too easy to read, the moment people can predict your every step, you lose the power to surprise, to lead, to protect yourself. The most brilliant minds in history, in politics, business, the arts, or any area, understood this well. Knowing when to stay silent can be just as powerful as knowing what to say. Think of someone you look up to, someone with real presence. Are they the kind of person who shares everything, who lays themselves bare? Or are they someone who always holds something back, who always has one more move hidden from view? The mistake many people make is thinking that being open means being weak. They believe that if they don't share everything, they're being unfair. But it's not about lying. It's about using information wisely in a way that helps you. Now think, how many times have your own words caused you trouble? How many times have you trusted someone who didn't deserve it, only to see your honesty used against you? How many times have you explained yourself when no one asked, just to please people who never really cared? Real power doesn't come from talking all the time. It comes from knowing when to speak and when to let others wonder. Sometimes, silence is what earns you the most respect. And here comes a powerful truth that few truly follow. The person who speaks the least, who explains the least, is the one who earns the most respect. Why? Because silence creates doubt. Doubt sparks curiosity, and curiosity gives power. If you always say exactly what you think, people stop listening. If you always explain your choices, people think you're unsure. But when you speak only when it matters, when your words are chosen with care, when you leave space for others to wonder, then they begin to truly pay attention. Now comes another key idea, the art of being unpredictable. People who are easy to read are easy to control. If your reactions are always the same, if your choices are always expected, then others can plan around you. They can take advantage of you. But when no one knows what you'll do next, when you don't fit into a simple pattern, you become someone they can't control. And someone they can't control is someone they respect. Machiavelli understood this more than anyone. A leader who is easy to figure out is a leader without strength. But a leader who keeps some mystery, who knows how to adapt, who never lets others put them in a box, that's the kind of leader who stays in control. So now ask yourself, do you want to keep being an open book that anyone can read, use, and take advantage of? Or do you want to become a strategist, someone who chooses what to show, what to hold back, and when to surprise, all for their own good? Because kindness without strategy is just an invitation to be devoured. The world won't change its rules just for you. So learn to play by the real rules, not the ones you were taught, but the ones that actually shape how things work. And if you do it right, if you use what truly works, you'll stop being pushed around and start taking control. Now comes one of the most powerful ideas, the art of keeping your distance. Many people think that to gain power, you have to always be around, always be seen, always be present. But the truth is different. When someone is always available, their value drops. Rarity creates interest. Being away creates a stronger impression. Think about it. Why do some people earn respect just by walking into a room, while others are ignored no matter how hard they try? The answer is in how people see their worth. Machiavelli said, "A ruler should avoid being too easy to reach, not because they should look down on others, but because too much closeness takes away the respect they need to lead." When you're always around, when you give without limits, people begin to overlook your presence, your effort, your kindness. They stop seeing it as something special. And this isn't just about power or leadership. It happens in friendships, at work, in everyday life. When you give too much, people start to treat you like you're replaceable. When you're always there, you become a tool, not someone they truly value. Think about it. How many times have you given your all to someone only to feel unappreciated? How many times have you been there for everyone, only to be left alone when you needed help? It's not by chance. It's how people work. What's always there is ignored. What's rare is treasured. That's why you must learn to manage your presence. Choose when to give attention. Choose when to step back. Shape how others see your availability. Don't answer right away every time. Don't make yourself easy to reach all the time. Let your absence speak. Let your presence make a mark. Because once you learn how to step away at the right moment, once you learn how to protect your energy, people will start to seek you out. The problem is that most people are afraid to step back. They're afraid that if they take a step back, they'll be forgotten. But here's the hard truth. If the only way people remember you is by your constant presence, then maybe your presence was never that meaningful to begin with. The ones who truly leave a mark aren't those who make the most noise. They're the ones who understand silence, who know when to step away and when to return. Look at any great figure from history. The real game changers aren't everywhere at once. They don't waste energy fighting every little battle. They appear when it counts, and when they do, all eyes are on them. And that brings us to something just as important: emotional control as a form of power. This is where many fall short. Most people think power comes from being tough, loud, or forceful. But real power, the kind Machiavelli understood so well, comes from mastering your emotions completely. Because the moment you lose control, when you react without thinking, when you act from anger or fear, you become easy to read, easy to influence, and easy to defeat. Think about the last time someone made you lose your temper. That moment when anger took over, when you reacted without thinking. Who was really in control then? It wasn't you. It was the other person. The one who pushed your buttons. The one who made you act instead of think. Because the one who controls your emotions ends up controlling your choices. And here lies the real secret. True power belongs to the person who cannot be shaken. The one who stays calm, no matter what. In arguments, in deals, in friendships. Whoever keeps their emotional balance always comes out stronger. Why? Because the person who controls their emotions also controls how others see them. Machiavelli said it clearly. A wise person must act with calm and calculation. It's not about hiding your feelings. It's about not being ruled by them. It's not about becoming cold. It's about not being controlled like a puppet. And when you learn to do this, when you stop being moved by every little thing, you become untouchable. People will try to upset you, to get inside your head, to push you until you react. But if they can't shake your balance, if they don't know what you'll do next, they lose their grip on you. Here's the truth. The ones who truly win are not always the strongest. They are the ones who stay calm, while everyone else is losing control. And that brings us to the final key idea, the power of strategic patience. Most people want things right away. They want success now, respect now, power now. But what Machiavelli showed, and what the greatest figures in history practiced, is that real power doesn't belong to the ones who rush. It belongs to those who wait, to those who hold back, to those who understand that the right moment is more powerful than the fast moment. The world is full of people who hurry, who act without thinking, who make choices without looking at what might happen later. But the ones who truly lead the game know how to be patient. They know how to watch. They know how to plan. Think about a hunter. They don't shoot at the first sign of movement. They watch carefully, check the distance, and wait for the perfect moment when the animal is in the right spot. Only then do they act. This is how power works. It's not always the person who moves first who wins. It's the one who moves at the best time. Machiavelli said that luck helps those who know how to adjust when things change. It's not about running in all directions. It's about knowing when to move faster and when to take a step back. People with no clear plan act without thinking, but those who think ahead wait for the right time. Now, I ask you, are you someone who jumps in without a plan, or someone who waits quietly, ready to act with care and precision? Because in this world, power doesn't go to the fastest. It goes to the one who thinks the best. Power belongs to those who understand how to shape what others see, who know how to use information, keep the right distance, stay calm, and wait with purpose. When you use all of this, you stop being used by the game and start playing it for real. The world may stay cold and tough, but now you'll know how to move within it. But here's what truly sets people apart: the ones who only get by and the ones who take control of their future. It's the power to become something unexpected, because now you see things clearly. Now you know that being kind isn't enough, that how others see you matters, that staying calm is a sign of strength, that waiting for the right time is better than acting too soon, and that what is rare becomes more valuable. But what's the point of knowing all this if you keep acting like everyone else always has? If you want new results, you need to become someone who doesn't settle for the usual ways, not by breaking rules just to rebel, but by creating your own path. Most people live inside limits that were placed on them. They follow the same routines, react the same way, and stay inside what is seen as normal. But the ones who truly make a difference, the ones who turn the game in their favor, are those who choose to be surprising, who use new ways, who do what no one saw coming. And here's the real truth: the world is built to swallow those who follow the crowd. If you do what everyone else does, you'll end up with the same results. That means being average. That means becoming just another name that fades away with time. The only way to stand out is to step outside the usual path. Be the one who moves in a new way, the one who doesn't react like the rest, the one who always keeps a secret move ready. Be the one no one fully understands or can predict. Be the one whose words carry weight because they are not spoken without meaning. When you understand this, something inside you shifts. You see that you were never powerless. You just weren't using the right approach. You see that people didn't overlook you because you lacked worth, but because you didn't know how to show it clearly. But now, everything is different. And this knowledge is powerful because once you start using it, there's no going back. The moment you begin to shape how others see you, to guide what they know, to use silence wisely, everything starts to change. People who once looked past you will begin to notice. People who once saw you as small will start to question what's new about you. And those who once tried to control you will start to feel unsure because you're not who you used to be. Now, you're someone who understands how the game really works. And now comes the most important choice. Will you use what you've learned, or will you go back to not knowing? Because the real difference between those who grow and those who stay behind isn't what they know, it's what they do. You can keep this knowledge in your mind, let it stay as just a curious idea, or you can start putting it into practice. That choice is yours. But let me tell you something. If you decide to go back, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll do it knowing that you're choosing to stay unseen. You're choosing to stay in the background. Or you can begin to change right now. Small steps, simple tests. Add a little mystery when you talk to people. Hold back the urge to say everything. Answer with calm instead of reacting out of emotion. Step away when the time is right. Watch quietly instead of jumping in without a plan. These small habits, done often, will slowly change how others see you. And without even noticing, you'll become someone who stands out, someone who can't be ignored, because the world doesn't remember those who only pass through. It remembers those who learned how to move within the game. So now, I ask you, are you ready to play it? If you've come this far, I want to know who truly got the message. Write the phrase, "Power is in the silence," in the comments, and let's see how many of you understand what it really means to move with purpose. And if this video made you reflect, if it helped you see things in a new way, make sure to subscribe. This is only the beginning. See you in the next video. And remember, don't just be another piece in the system. Be the one who creates the rules.